Browns defense needed some work. Everybody knew that they focused their attention through the draft for the most part, as well as free agency, on improving the line and that offensive side of the ball around Baker Mayfield. Now it's reasonable to assume that Andrew Berry will turn his attention to the defense this year.
In fairness, these next couple of weeks, we're really going to go through a full self-assessment, not just roster, but football operations scheme, you name it, to make sure that we have a really good beat in terms of our planning entering the offseason. I think it's a fair observation to realize that, the resources this past year that we had going into this past fall were predominantly oriented to support the offense and support the quarterback. But that doesn't mean that we didn't make, some investments all across the team. We can have improvement anywhere. Understand that obviously, we think we can certainly boost the defense as we go into 2021. But it's probably too early to make any declarative or definitive statements. But certainly understand the strengths of the team.
Andrew Berry talking about free agency and the defensive side of the ball. Let's bring back in Mary Kay Cabot, Browns beat reporter. Mary Kay, what about it? I mean, Andrew Berry's not going to come out and say, here's what we're going to do, because it's a positioning, it's negotiating and those kind of things. He's not going to show his hand, but they're going to put their efforts into improving that defense.
Yeah, I think that they'll improve a number of areas on the team, and I think there are certain aspects of the defense that are going to need some help. First of all, Olivier Vernon is coming off a ruptured Achilles. He's in the last year of his contract, so that's one area you can look at. Another area to look at, I think, is cornerback, because Greedy Williams, although they're very confident he will come back 100% healthy from the nerve damage in his shoulder, I still think that you have to have contingency plans in case that shoulder doesn't respond the way that you hope that it will. So they can re-sign Terrence Mitchell, but I still think that they should need to look in free agency and the draft for other cornerbacks. And then, of course, a linebacker or two would probably really help. A linebacker that can cover, a linebacker with some speed, and that can do some other things, sort of a hybrid type of a guy. And I think that they will be in much better shape.
The other thing that we didn't point out, a lot of the guys that they signed on the defensive side of the ball were short-term, one-year contracts that are up, obviously. So there's some areas there that they need to work on. If they were looking for a quality, do you think it's speed? Is that accurate to say, you think, that they just have to get quicker?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one area to address, and Andrew Berry said that today, that he'll take more speed wherever he can absolutely get it. So I think you'll find that they will look to do that. And when I look back at the Chiefs game and you see Chad Henne running there for 13 yards, obviously there's no way that should have happened. I think part of that may have been a function of Myles Garrett was. He was very, very hurt at that point. I could have seen him making that play had he been feeling a little bit better at that point. But I do think that they need to add more speed on this defense, whether it be in the back end, from their linebackers, or from an explosive pass rusher to complement Myles on the other side.